Alright, everybody, welcome back. I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that I lost all of the progress from the last video. So we're going to start over with that. Last video, I'm just going to leave it up so people can see where I was at, which wasn't very far. We're just setting up the project, getting a camera in, putting in the first enemy, and the player prefabs that we were using to placehold where we're going to have everything at. So instead of going off on a large rant like I did last time in the first video log, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it here. So I am building this game out with AI. I'm using Grok 3. I recommend Grok 3 or DeepSeek because both of these pull references to generate their answers from. And you can actually look at those references that they're using. I went ahead and threw together a prompt, and this is what it reads. Well, the progress I made before didn't save, so I'm starting from ground zero. Can you break down step 1 into steps I can follow, and can you explain it to me like I'm 5? So this might make for an interesting, entertaining video. Also, since I'm having to start over, I'm going to use the newest Unreal Engine version 5.5.3. So I'm not going to use 5.4. I'm going to upgrade to 5.3, so that way I'm using the latest engine. Continuing with the prompt, so this way I'm learning the most relevant information for future projects. Also, I want to start from a blank project to get a feel for building a game from the ground up using blueprints in Unreal Engine 5.5.3. And I hit enter. So Grok goes ahead and responds like this. No worries about starting over. Sometimes a fresh slate is the best way to learn, especially with Unreal Engine 5.5.3. The latest as of now is March 26, 2025. I am stoked you're jumping into this with a blank project and blueprints. It's a perfect way to get comfy with Unreal Engine 5 from the ground up. Since you're new and want it explained like you're 5, I'll break down step 1, setting up the playership movement into tiny, easy bites like I'm telling you a story to a kid who loves games. Well, make your little blue ship dance across the screen. Here we go. So this might get interesting really quickly. To put this in context, I'm 33, and I heard that when you're talking to AI, it's best to ask it to explain it to you like you're 5, because it makes less errors. So when the AI is explaining it to you like they're trying to teach a child, they have to check their own work and they're less likely to make things up. All AIs do this. They lose their mind. ChatGPT is infamous for this. So I did it this way, but I wasn't expecting it to go ahead and tell me a story on the game I'm creating, or explain the steps to me as they're in a story. As they're like in a story. Sorry guys, tripping over my words. That right there tells me this is gonna be strange. But I don't know anything about Unreal Engine 5, so it is like teaching a 5-year-old. Except for they can pick up information quicker than I can because, you know, when they're that age, their brain is like a sponge. Anyway, so step 1, make your blue ship move. Baby set steps for Unreal Engine 5.5.3. Imagine you're building a toy spaceship that slides back and forth on its own like a little friend guarding your planet in Zentriad. We're starting with nothing, so let's build it piece by piece in Unreal Engine 5.5.3. I think it's going to repeat that a lot. Step 1.1, get Unreal Engine ready. What do? Open your toy box, the Epic Games launcher, on your computer. Find Unreal Engine tab. It's like a magic button for making games. Click the install engine, 5.5.3, if it isn't there yet, or launch if it is. It's a big toy, so it might take a few minutes to unpack. So I think it's talking about the loading screen, which if you have a slower computer, Unreal Engine, yeah, it takes a while. I think even with a high-end computer, still takes like, I don't know, 30 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes for an empty project. It's kind of fun. This is like turning on your game making machine so we can play. Step 1.2, start a new game world. Once Unreal Engine opens, you'll see a big new project window, like picking a blank coloring book. Click Games, it's fun category. Okay. Well, games, there it is, the blank project. So I think I got it that far. Pick blank, since it's an empty playground and no toys yet. Make sure it says blueprints, not C++. This is like using building blocks instead of writing big words. Choose mobile or tablet. Alright, so we're going to put it on mobile. There we go. Pick maximum quality. Fancy toys for now. We'll make it faster later. Name your game Zentriad. So, Orbital Zentriad, there you go. It's your space adventure. Then click Create. Alright. So it's creating the project. I hope you guys are following along, because I think you guys will get the most value out of doing that. Or just listen to me hilariously ramble off what the AI is telling me. Honestly, it feels like the AI is talking down to me, but it's way more intelligent than I am, so I can't really blame it for doing that. And I asked it to explain it to me like I'm 5. Trust me, it's a strange feeling, but I think it's working out. We'll find out later. It's too early to tell just yet. But I know we're probably going to run into some issues later because we're using AI to tell us how to build a game in an engine that I've never used before in that capacity. I've used it in small capacity, but I've never built a game in it. I've built prototypes in Unity and Godot, but I've never finished a game. I have never actually had a job in the field coding. I have no background in coding. I'm a truck driver. Warehouse worker. The most I've ever made in a year was $45,000. Hopefully this year we'll make 50, but we'll see. Either way, I spend most of my day working like everybody else. And I really, really feel like I need to do something that will stay out there that the world can see even after I'm gone. And there's nothing I'm more passionate about than video games. That is the one thing I've always wanted to do. And there's a huge difference between making games and playing games. But honestly, I like working with my hands. I like to build things. I like woodworking. I like cutting glass, which I've had that job before too. I enjoy building things. So, where does my passion meet in the middle of? And that's game design. The thing is, I need engines that will allow me to eventually build my dream game. And this is where we're starting at. This is where we're starting, boys and girls. This is the very beginning of a journey to become a game developer with someone who has no background in game development, coding, or anything in the game industry. I've never had a job like that. Hell, I'm just starting my YouTube journey on top of this. So sorry for the low quality, but that's kind of like a secondary thing. I want to hold myself responsible for completing this project because I'll give you an example. I created a card game. The rulebook's done. I've got 2 decks done, ready to be printed. The only thing I'm not satisfied with is the artwork for the monsters. Now, I've looked at a bunch of homemade card games and stuff like that, and I want to use pixel art as the art form for my card game. I wasn't satisfied with the art that I have, so I stopped it. It's 90% done. The artwork is the only thing that's left. The card backs are in pixel art. The card fronts are in pixel art. You have your monsters, your equipment, your spells, and your traps. The player mat I haven't done yet. Right now those are cards that you can essentially print out to build out the field. It's a tabletop trading card game that has strategy elements where you move across the board to destroy your opponent's tower. And it's literally playable. It's literally playable. The decks are done. The rules are done. I'm just not satisfied with what the images are for the cards. So I used AI as AI images as a placeholder, but when you put something on the Game Crafter, you cannot use AI generated images. You can use them as reference, as long as you're not copying, pasting, and putting the AI images themselves up there. You can't, like, literally it's in the TOS for the Game Maker. And of course I want it on the Game Maker, because otherwise I would have to print out all of those cards myself and send them all out myself, which would increase my cost exponentially. And I want people to be able to go in, order it, and get it shipped to them with a professional grade print. I don't have professional printers. I don't have all of the things that you need for a printing studio for a card game. Where if I let the Game Crafter do it, I just have to make the idea and they can print everything out and send it out for me. So that's what I plan on doing. But I don't want this to turn into that. With that, I stopped because I found a reason to. With this, with putting it on YouTube, with getting followers, I'll have an expectation put upon me to finish this, to continue my game design journey until I'm able to build my VR game Stone and Sorcery, which you guys saw from the last video. If you watched it, I know it was long. I want to take elements from a bunch of different games that I enjoy, that I pay attention to, and put it into a VR multiplayer adventure game. And I already put it into AI to make a GDD for me and estimate the amount of time that it would actually take me to make a viable product that I could put on the SideQuest store or put on itch.io. And just a single player version, a 1 to 2 hour run of that game with only a fraction of the things I actually want in it, 12 months, 12 to 14 months. So I want to make this so I can get myself familiar with Unreal Engine. And then I probably want to expand upon this game and flesh it out. Make it be my first finished game. I know I'm going from 0 to 100 here, because a lot of people, they make tons of prototypes before they ever finish a game. But I hear people who've been in the game industry, indie game developers, for 10, 15, 20 years. They started when they were 19. They said the most you can learn from a game is by completing one. So I'm here on YouTube making these videos. Hopefully somebody will find some value in it. But more than anything, it's to make sure I actually finish, because I am terrible when it comes to self-sabotage. And I'm sure somebody who watches this is probably in the same shoes I am. Every time they get close to completing something, boom, never finish it. Set it down, 90% done. Set it down, never finish it, never publish it. Because I don't know what the reason is. I wish I knew, because then I could actually correct the thought process in my head. I tell myself that it might be, I'm afraid of this going out there to the world. Why? What do you have to lose? Maybe some criticism from others? It's the internet. It's going to happen. We're gamers. We play Call of Duty. We played in the Halo lobbies. We play MMORPGs. We play World of Warcraft. We play Hearthstone. We get in there with Smite and go against the toxic individuals that make that place what it is. Toxicity is part of the gaming community, unfortunately. It's not going to go away. There's people with aimbots that will talk crap to you while using an aimbot. Why? Because they know it gets under your skin. So what am I concerned about with the thoughts of other people? I'm already not successful because I'm working at a job. I don't have my own freedom. I'm a wage slave, living paycheck to paycheck. So tell me, what do I have to lose by putting my ideas out there to the world? I tell myself nothing, but it's like I don't believe it. Anyway, wow, this is still going, huh? Alright, we're just going to wait for everything to stop loading here. See, why does it start with this? I said to start with a blank project, and it gives me all of this other garbage. I don't want any of this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tell the AI what it did. Okay. When I opened... Alright, here's what I typed. Okay, when I opened a new project, it gave me a bunch of landscapes. What do I do with all of these assets that are already in the project? They're all 3D assets, and I'm making a 2D pixel art game. See what it tells me. I totally get the confusion. Exclamation point. When you picked the blank template for Unreal Engine 5.5.3, it still tossed some 3D landscape stuff in, like a big grassy hill or sky, because Unreal loves 3D toys. Even in a blank project, since Zentriad is a 2D pixel art game, we don't need those clunky 3D bits. Let's clean them up and make your playground flat and ready for your little spaceships. I'll explain it super simple, like we're tidying up a toy box. Step 1, clean up the 3D stuff. Imagine your Zentriad project opened with a 3D park, trees, hills, skies, dome, which it didn't. It just gave me landscapes with hills, and basically it generated landmass with lighting and fog with a skybox. Which I don't want any of that because it's a 2D game. But we want a flat piece of paper for our 2D game. Here's what to do. Step 1 of 1. Open right play area. When Unreal Engine starts, it might show a level with a landscape, green hills or something. Instead, go to the file, top left corner, like opening a new storybook. Okay. Click new level, pick empty level. Okay. New level. Empty level. It's like a blank sheet with no toys. Okay. So create this. A file. Save as. Save all. Save current level. Save current level as. There you go. And they wanted me to call this main level. I don't know why everything tells me that. Every tutorial that you watch always has like main scene, main level. It's always like very generic. I guess you could name whatever you want, but yeah, I'm just going to listen to the AI since, I'm trying to be taught. Why? Here, it seems like it gives you a why after every section, which is cool because it gives you an explanation for why it's telling you these things and to do it in what order. This kicks out the 3D park and gives you a clean and empty space for our 2D game. Okay, so that just deletes everything. So I don't have to go through and delete everything. It automatically does it. So this should be the only scene in our games folder, basically, wherever your game is saved at. So I've got it saved in a folder called Zentriad underneath my game development section. So I guess that's going to be the only scene in there. So I kind of want to make sure, okay, we're just going to save all again. I don't know how to make sure this is saved because Control S is usually enough to just save whatever across, but I lost everything before, and all I was using was Control S because in Godot, Unreal Engine, whatever, it saves the whole project, and it doesn't delete it. I don't want to run into that issue again, so we're just going to go ahead and make sure that we go to File each time and save all, or Control Shift S. Anyway, that's for later. Let's keep going. 1.2, toss out the 3D toys if they're still there. Okay, so they're not. Look at the world outliner in the top right box. It's like a list of toys in your level. You might see stuff like landscape, sky, sphere, directional light, atmospheric fog, which they were all there, now they're not. Click on each one, hold control to pick more than one. Then press delete on your keyboard or right click and delete. If it's already empty, just says persistent level, you're good. I don't see persistent level, but I'm guessing that the main level is what it means. I'm assuming that's what it means because everything else is gone and that's the only thing there. We didn't name it persistent level, we named it main level because that's what it told us to do, but okay, so going right along. Alright. Oh, yeah, I should read the why for this. These are 3D things for big worlds, but we're making a flat picture game, so we don't need them. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I got that. But, Step 1.3, check yourself what to do. That's pretty funny. Check yourself. Okay. In the content browser, bottom shelf, click the content folder. You might see folders like starter content or maps with 3D stuff, trees, rocks, etc. You can leave them there. They won't hurt anything, but if you want to be super clean, right click the starter content and hit delete. All right, let's see. So content, no, we just got the main level. So sweet, all that's gone anyway. See underneath collection, nothing. All right. So why are we only using flat 2D picture sprites, not 3D rocks or skies? So we can ignore or toss the extra 3D toys. So throw them in the trash, basically. Step 2, finally, make sure it's 2D ready. Since you're starting fresh, let's double check the 2D magic is on and set up your tall, skinny screen. Sweet. On flat picture mode, what to do? Go to Edit, top menu, Project Settings. All right. So, Edit, Project Settings. Sweet. Type Paper 2D in the search bar. Guess what? Doesn't show up. Under Engine and Engine Rendering, find Support Paper 2D. Okay, so here's our first issue. Let's see if the AI can tell us why we're not seeing Paper 2D. So 15 pages of reference. Well, that's a bummer. If Paper 2D isn't showing up in your project setting, Unreal Engine 5.5.3, don't worry, we can figure this out together. It's like when you can't find your favorite toy, sometimes it's just hiding. Since you're starting with a fresh blank project and want to make Zentriad a 2D pixel art game, Paper 2D should be there to help us draw flat pictures. Let's fix this step by step, like we're detectives solving a mystery. Okay? Question mark. Why it might not show up. Paper 2D is a special tool, a plugin in Unreal Engine that lets us make 2D games, but sometimes it's not turned on when you start a new project. It's like a light switch that you turn on and off. You just need to flip it on. In older versions, Unreal Engine 4, it was easier to spot. Unreal Engine 5.5.3, we might need to check in a different toy box to find it. Look for the Paper 2D toy box, step 1. Let's see if Paper 2D is hiding somewhere else, not in the project settings yet. What to do? Unreal Engine 5.5.3, look at the top screen where you see Edit. It's like a magic menu, Edit Plugins. Alright, sweet. So we got this here. Plugin directory. So let's look in Paper 2D. Haha, there we are. It's on. It's checked on. What in the world? That's interesting. So it's already on. Cool. So, look under built-in 2D. Built-in 2D. Just one. Hold on. Let's get out of this and see if we can... Yeah, that's the only one. It's right there. Boom. It's on. If you found it and it's unchecked, turn it on. Nope, it's already checked. So, check project settings again, which it wasn't there because it's turned on. Paper 2D. Nothing. Interesting. Okay. Could edit project settings, type in Paper 2D again. Okay, if it's... Alright, so we just did that. Alright, we're going to skip to step 4 because it was already checked on and it's still not in the project settings. So step 4, if it's still missing, the extra trick. If Paper 2D didn't show up in the project settings, maybe it's being super shy. Let's make sure it's really working. What to do? Content browser, bottom shelf, right click in your sprites folder or anywhere if you don't have one yet. Look for sprite. Okay, so let's go to the content browser, which is right here, and right click and see if we have sprite. Paper 2D right there, sprite. Yup, we got it. Okay, so what you're looking for is sprite. Okay, so here's what it's telling me to do. Content browser, right click, find the sprite. Got it right here. look for sprite. It pops up under Paper 2D. If the sprite is there, click it and make a new sprite called test sprite. Alright, so test sprite. Boom. If sprite is there, if sprite isn't there, I'm sorry, the plugin didn't turn on, right? So let's go back. Okay, so step 5, tell me what you see. If it worked, you see Paper 2D in the project settings, or can make sprite great. We can keep building your blueprint, blue ship like before. If it didn't, tell me what happened. Did Paper 2D show up in the plugins but not turned on? Did Unreal Engine crash when you restarted? Is sprite missing from the content browser? I'll help you fix it. Okay, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up because it's been doing pretty good so far. Awesome! You made a test sprite. That's a big win. It means Paper 2D is working in Unreal Engine 5.5.3, even if it's playing hide and seek in project settings. If Paper 2D isn't showing up when you search there, don't worry. It's like the toy is on, but the instruction book got lost. We can still build zentriad with flat sprites, and I'll show you how to keep going since you're 5. And I'm explaining it simple. Let's pretend you're making a fun toy spaceship that moves okay. Question mark. So it's supposed to be like, okay? Here's what we'll do next. I think the AI has figured out that I'm not actually 5. I think that's why it seems like it's getting irritated with me. Oh, it's fun. Alright. Didn't know AIs had feelings just yet. That might not bode well for our future, but hey, I've had plenty of movies about it. Let the AI overlords take over. We're not doing too good of a job with it anyway. What's happening? You turned on Paper 2D in plugins. Yay! And you can make sprites in the content browser. Double yay. Project settings not showing Paper 2D is weird, but it's not a deal breaker. In Unreal Engine 5.5.3, some settings might be tucked away or not searchable, like in an older version. As long as the sprites work, we're golden. Okay, step 1, keep building your play area. Since your sprite test worked, let's set up your tall, skinny screen and make your blue ship move. Open your playmat. What do? File, new level, empty level. Boom, got it already. Save it, file, save as, name it main level. Got it. Like a clean sheet of paper, and then the next sentence, quotations, our toy playground. Why? This is a fresh spot with no extra stuff. Just for 2D game. Just for your 2D game. Sorry, skipped over that. Step 1.2. Add a watching eye. What to do? On the left, place actors in the toy chest. Type camera. Okay, so we're going to add a watching eye. We're going to go to... Wow. That is interesting. Okay, so on the left, in the place actors box, what the hell is that? Well, I know how to make a camera anyway, so let's just go ahead and do that, because that seems pretty straightforward, because you just go here, like, it just taught us how to make the test sprite, right? So this is all of our access stuff right here, so we just go to the search bar and type in camera. I mean, it didn't tell me that, but it's referring to the content browser as the toy chest. So, kind of put 2 and 2 together there, unfortunately. But, you know, maybe a 5-year-old will be able to figure that out. Maybe not, but you can see it's leaving out some information. Like I said, I think the AI is getting irritated because it's figured out that I'm not actually 5. So, we're going to do camera. Camera asset. Rig prefab. Not sure what it wants me to do there. Huh. Okay. On the left, in the place actors, I do not see place actors button. That's so weird. Because it doesn't have just... Ah! There we go. Camera actor. That's what it was talking about. So, okay. You come here. You don't go to the content browser. These are built-in prefabs. These are built-in prefabs in the Unreal Engine. So these have already got codes on them and blueprints and everything else. this is literally just a camera actor. It's just the camera itself. No code, none of that. I'm guessing these are the code that make the camera work in the first place, but they don't have any bearing. They're not prefabs. It's just the camera itself. So again, come here, which 5-year-old wouldn't figure that one out at all. They'd have to ask him, break it down further. But 3 lines, come to the search bar, type in camera, and camera actors right there. So if anytime from the future, if we need to place an actor, we have to come to that. Sweet. Okay. We've got it. Drag the camera to your level. Don't need to do that because it's in the world outliner already. Click on the world outliner, top right list. So it's right there. In details, bottom right. Find camera settings, projection mode, pick orthographic. Projection mode, orthographic. Boom. Sweet. Okay. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Set ortho width to 540. How wide our picture is. Like 540 tiny dots. That's a good way to look at pixels, I assume. 540 orthographic width. Move it to the location, X on the 0, or 0 on the X. Alright, so let's zero out this location and rotation. We're just going to zero everything out. And we're going to go location 0 on the X. So there it is. X is red. I wish it had the little, wow, that is weird movement system. Can I? Okay. Yeah, I can just move like that. Cool. If you hold right click down and move with WSA and D, you can move with WSA and D. Or click on the item and hit F and focus right to it. Awesome. So, X is red, Y is green, Z is blue. So we're going to go 0 on the X, negative 270 on the Y, and on the Z, it's 480. Why? I have no idea. But that's what the AI said the recommended setting should be. Alright, now we have to turn the rotation. Rotation pitch, which is the X. The Y is the yaw, which both of those are 0 and 0. Now on the Z, they want it to rotate negative 90. What did that do? That did nothing. Okay, I think I got that wrong. It says the pitch, the yaw, and the roll. So, is it backwards? Because that's not looking toward the ground. That's looking toward our camera. So, I'm thinking that since what the AI says in quotations is looks down like we're flying above. So it should look down. So that means we got to rotate it on the Y because Y is the green. And we want that to rotate vertically. So we're going to put that negative 90 into the Y. And boom, now it's looking at the ground. So I don't think the AI set that up in a way that is easy to understand, because if you look at it pitch, yaw, and roll, you'll think the roll is the Z-axis. The roll is not the Z-axis. It is the Y-axis. And you think the yaw is the Y-axis when I'm pretty sure that's the X-axis. And the pitch is the Z-axis for the depth. I'm not an aerospace engineer. I could probably just put this into Google and find out, but all it says is make it look toward the ground. So we rotated on the Y, now it's looking at the ground. Let's move on. Lock it in. Make the big middle screen. Click the monitor chain. Okay. So where's the monitor chain? In the big middle screen, click the monitor with chain icon, top left. Pick your camera actor. So, allow camera shakes? No. Create camera? Camera actor? No. Where is this magical chain that it's talking about? Because I am not seeing one. Let's see. Top left. Pick your camera actor. Okay. So it's got to be in here somewhere. It says the big middle screen. Camera speed? No. I am really not seeing, I'm not seeing a monitor with a chain icon. So we're just going to ask the AI and see if it can break it down a little bit further for us. No worries, I totally get why you'd be confused. Unreal Engine 5.5.3, the monitor with chain icon I mentioned might not look exactly like that or could be hiding a bit. It's my fault for not being super clear. I meant was a little button that lets you lock your game screen to your camera. So you see a tall, skinny zentriad world the way we set it up. Since you're 5, and I'm explaining it to you like a story, let's find this sneaky button together and make sure the spaceship looks right. Okay, where's the button? In Unreal Engine, the big middle screen is called the viewport. This thing. It's like your TV where you watch your game. Up at the top of that screen, there's a row of tiny buttons, like controls on a remote toy. We're looking for one that helps us stick the TV to your camera's eyes. Okay. It might not be a chain anymore. It could look like a little person or an arrow depending on your version. Let's hunt for it. What do? Look at the big middle part of the screen where you see your game viewport. Up top, there's a bar with buttons like play, pause, and so, right there. Yeah. Platforms? No? Okay. Yeah, I see that. Alright, let's keep reading. Find the button that says pilot when you hover over it. So, okay. Find pilot. See if in any of these... That's lit. I don't want to lit anything right now. Well, actually, I don't think I want to lit anything anyway because we're making a 2D game. But, you know, some 2D games do have lighting for ambiance. But, I'm looking to make this game as light as possible, so all my ambiance is going to come from the art itself. Alright, so I'm not seeing pilot. Okay, so here's how we fix this. How to pilot camera in Unreal UE 5.5.3. Okay, lock your camera. No, that's from 2 years ago. That ain't gonna help us. How to lock your camera in a viewport. That's from 2019. That's even further back. Alright, so 2023. Let's see if we can just do it with this. Okay, because actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it was up here. It was right here at the top before. Is it? Oh. Okay, I guess that's it. G to go to game view. I don't know if it rightly... No, because it's not locking the camera. The camera's can still probably move. Okay, so I'm going to the Unreal Engine forums right here. Okay, how to lock top-down camera in place. I want to allow the character to move without the camera changing its position in the top-down preset. An actor in blueprints, camera component. Alright. Don't want to do it that way. We just want to know how to lock it from... We just want to know how to lock the camera from the viewport. How about this? So I'm just going to type this into Google, how to lock camera to view in Unreal Engine 5.5.3 in viewport. Okay, so it should have pilot from the context menu. Allow camera shakes, immersive mode, cinematic control. Where did the pilot go? Oh, place cameras and scene. Okay, so we're in pilot. Okay, so how did I just do that? So into perspective, we clicked on the camera actor 0. And in this camera, it allows us to pilot it and we can just stop piloting it. Where's the lock that it was talking about? Okay, well, we found the pilot button, so... Oh, wait, I know how to do this. From the last time. Oh, never mind. Never mind. No, I don't. I'm thinking of Godot. There's an option to make current camera in Godot, and I figured this had the same thing, but I don't see it. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna read what the AI shot at us. Stop flying and make it the game's eyes. Since you're piloting and see your camera's viewport, hopefully tall flat screen, which you can't really tell because there's nothing in the scene. Let's make it the official game camera. What to do? In the viewport, make the big middle screen. Click stop piloting. Okay. Easy enough. Boom. It's like landing your toy plane. The screen might go back to showing something else. Maybe a 3D hill or nothing. Which, nothing, thankfully. That's okay for now. We're done flying the camera ourselves. Now we'll tell the game to use it all the time. Tell the game to use your camera, what to do. Look at the world outliner, top right toy list. Find your camera actor. Click it to pick it, which is already clicked. Go to world settings. I have to find the pawn class. That's what it says we're looking for. We're looking for pawn class. So it's not our data layers. So find game mode, selected game mode. If it says game mode base, that's fine, we'll use that. Scroll down to default pawn class and set it to none. Click the drop down none. This stops little 3D guy from popping up. Okay, that's interesting. So spawns collision, no. Actor, I literally do not see that option. Auto for active player, which we don't have any players, so none. Use pawn control. We're not using pawn control. It says do not use pawn. So it seems like a lot of those options have changed. So I think that might not even be an issue anymore. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's go Control S, File, Save All, and we're going to hit the play button real quick. See if anything pops up. Nothing pops up, but you see the default pawn? See that? That's what is exactly what it's talking about, is that it spawns that. So that means it's spawning the pawn. So we don't want that to happen. So where is it? Camera settings, orthographic, overscan. Don't look like it's in any of this at all. So let's go to the next section. Constraints, advanced, lock to head mount. Okay, cool. So it's always going to be in place. There we go. There's our lock. It's there. It's done. Advanced. Nope. Auto player activator. No, we don't have a. That's disabled anyway. So there you go. Draw fusion allowed. I don't know what that means, but okay. Post processing. It's not going to be in there because it's for lighting. Physics deactivated, so doesn't make a difference. Tags, don't know what those are for, but not what we're looking for. User data, there's don't know what that's for, but it's not there. Auto activate, okay. Scene component, alright. I don't think either of those are it because they're not the pawn. Editor is only actor, no. Overlaps default method, don't know that that's it. Good actor, persistent level. Convert actor, don't care about that. Spawns collision handling. Always ignore collisions, which is awesome. Shouldn't matter, but ignores shifting. Can be clustered. Players, none. Load, default mode. LOD, low. That's cool. So I'm not seeing that option in here. So I don't think it's something that we're going to have to worry about or will affect the game much at all. Considering the actor still spawns in there, but it's not giving us the option to turn it off, and I'm under all of the options. So I think with that, we've got the camera set up, we've got the level actually set up better than we had it last time with this AI generated walkthrough, but you kind of see the issues that you have when you've never used an engine before, and I think that's the value that I'm going to bring, because no matter where I look, I can always find somebody who has been working in the industry for 10 years or was a coder and now they're stopping their full-time job making six figures coding to make games. And to me, those are people who have a lot of experience doing this type of thing. For me, you're looking at somebody with no experience doing this. And I hope this keeps me going, and I hope that somebody finds some value out of it. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.